We have been getting lots of comments, with many people asking why Maxwell Chikumbutso's microsonic energy device was denied a patent in the United States. We are going to explain why and also play a video from his interview sometime back when he was explaining why he was denied the patent and how it has impacted his invention so far. The reason, according to Maxwell himself, is that his invention was labeled as a perpetual motion machine, a device that can operate indefinitely without an external energy source. The U.S. Patent Office has a long-standing policy of rejecting patents for perpetual motion machines because they violate the laws of thermodynamics and the principle of energy conservation. The principle of energy conservation states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only change forms. This means the total energy in an isolated system remains constant. Maxwell's microsonic device, on the other hand, claims to generate energy from ambient radio frequencies without any external input. The energy obtained in this way is in microwatts, which can't power anything. But Maxwell's device is able to generate more power in megawatts, which he claims can power a car or a generator that can power 300 homes. In other words, it appears to create energy out of nothing, a direct violation of the energy conservation principle. In simple terms, energy cannot be created from nothing. Maxwell's device, which supposedly powers vehicles and homes without fuel or recharging, seems to defy this law. He seems to have found a way to do it if true. The U.S. Patent Office likely viewed his invention as a perpetual motion machine, a concept that has been debunked countless times in scientific history. Perpetual motion machines are considered impossible because they require infinite energy or the ability to bypass the laws of physics entirely. In an interview, Maxwell explained that the patent denial has significantly impacted his ability to commercialize his invention. Without a patent, he can't protect his intellectual property, and it makes it difficult for him to license his business. Now I'm going to play a clip from that interview where Maxwell explains his side of the story. Listen closely and decide for yourself. Is this a case of groundbreaking innovation being stifled by rigid patent laws, or is the U.S. Patent Office justified in its decision?
You know, we have got laws. There's a time that I explained on my Facebook page so that people could understand how the laws, the patent laws, work. They are patents which are not patentable, but being patents because of some issues. Good example, you can invent something that will promote monopoly. Automatically it's not patentable. You can invent something that is novel, it's new, but this thing can cause harm to people. It's not patentable. Our technology was classified as a technology that violates some laws of physics because patents examiners are guided by the natural laws. So they said you are violating the law of energy and thermodynamics. This is not direct proportional. So it's not industrial applicable because it is reversing everything. We have to revisit science and change those laws. Yes, it is working, but because it's doing that,
we have to relook everything.
Relook everything. We have to dismantle everything. Then we start afresh. So it's not patentable. So some they classify it as a perpetual motion device. That is why we delayed to be out. We're trying to find best ways of doing it, of taking it to the market. Later on, we decided that the best way is to have industrial designs. Just like Coca-Cola did, they protected their recipe. It's not patented, but they just kept it secret. So we decided to go that route and took 70% of our components in the microsonic energy device. We made those components, we put them under trade secrets, meaning to say that we don't disclose much the formula on how those components are made. The materials that we're using will remain classified. Yeah, so that was the challenge that we faced. Yeah, it affects a lot because I will give a very good example that this is something that we have experienced. For example, you want to license a company. A company come and say, we see that this thing is working. We want a manufacturing license or whatever. But when you don't have a patent, they don't have guarantee. They don't have guarantee that they will remain in control. So it became a challenge to license companies. It became a challenge also to get like funding from financial institutions. A good example, there's a time in South Africa, a certain bank was giving funding for new and renewable energy. Our technology, even though it was working, demonstrated that it is what was working, but to them it was not under solar, it was not under wind. So they were saying this is totally new, so how can we fund it? So those are some of the challenges, but if we had a patent by now we could have gone far, but we thank God that we find a way to go around it. Like I said, right now we're using the trade secret route. The machine has got some parts which are self-destructive, meaning to say if you try to tamper around with it, it kills itself so that you cannot see anything. Some of the ways that we felt it was the best way of protecting the technology. I want to be very frank and open, and honest at the same time. We never got any support, especially as far as concerned in our country. We never got, and what we got from like fellow Africans with backlashes, most of the partners that we have, most of the people that supported us are in Europe, are in the States. We spoke and I invited them to send their scientists so that they can come and validate the technology. They were in Zimbabwe for 13 days. They did a validation of the machine, and I'm talking of reputable scientists. It was an American team, so when they left, they sent their report, they prepared their report, a scientific report, which states that the machine works. That is why I end up being featured in Thrive among the best scientists in the world, because they saw that it's working. In Zimbabwe, we have never even seen those kind of people. All they did is talking, but they're not showing even effort to come. I've been to the Ministry of Science and Technology, I've been to many government offices to say, but nothing has come. And we're just praying that God will help us to make this technology change our country. As I'm speaking right now, we have got machines that we are preparing, which are supposed to go like in Canada, which are supposed to go in Australia, which are supposed to go. Those people, they never even came here. But some of them, they were privy to the scientific report. And you see the support which is coming from there. So that's our prayer. If our nation can start to support our own people. Yes, there have been a lot of bad things that happen, like the diesel repachinoi. Yeah, you see. But it only took the Americans to come and validate, and they said, no, this is working. The land. It took, like I said, it took Americans to fly a team with their testing equipment to come and do a validation. But here in Zimbabwe, we are failing to do that. We are just some few kilometers away from where the machines are. And from that time, the Americans started to fund. We are where we are today because of them. So it tells you a lot. Those people are very prudent investors. That's why they send the scientists, the delegations, to come and see if this thing is working.
Bankable,
yes. So it's something that we need to, like what Doc say, we need to pray about that, because otherwise Africa will not go anyway. So this can save a lot. And apart from the forex, it can drive the economy of Zimbabwe. When you talk of agriculture, there's shortage of energy.
Industry.
Industry is going to be something that is very big, and each and every investor would say, I want to go and start my business in Zimbabwe because the energy side
is sorted.
The cost of producing will be so less, so we can attract foreign investors.